Hey guys, and down here, this is going to be my chapter review to One Piece 925 blank. Now before I start, have you guys seen the shit that's been going down with, yeah, it's working. I hope it's working. Let me just check. Yeah, so have you guys seen the shit that's been going down with Joy Boy's account and his YouTube account? That's some really shady shit. I mean, like, what it is Shueisha has been, they've marked him twice for copyright offenses. And if he's marked a third time, his account's going to get taken down. Now, I'm not a big fan of Joy Boy, not because I don't like his material, just because I generally don't follow him. He's not someone I've watched before really too much. I've seen a couple of videos here and there, and but I appreciate what he's done for the One Piece community, and it's something that I've always I've been inspired by, and all these other guys that are way larger than I am, and way larger than the people I follow and the people I talk to and stuff like that. So they've always done a good job in terms of uniting the One Piece community and just throwing theories out there and stuff like that. And I think Shueisha really needs to get their fingers out their asses and their heads out of their asses, because they're doing a really bad job and they're leaving a bad taste in the mouths of these people who are essentially promoting their material, promoting their work for free. And they've done a hell of a job in just gathering people and promoting One Piece to new fans of manga and stuff in general, and actually recruiting people into liking manga and things like that. So Shueisha really needs to fix up, because they can remove my account and it wouldn't be too much of a fuss, because I have like 121 subscribers who I love dearly. But the reality of the situation is I don't get very many views or have too many subscribers for it to be an issue. But when it's someone like Joy Boy, I'm just like, yo, this is a bit crazy. I mean, like, and the big guys up there like King of Lightning, Tech King, and Rogers Base and all that stuff, I'm just like, Shueisha really needs to fix up. Anyway, with that having been said, I'll probably timestamp when this part is. But actually I'm not, you can see that. But let's talk about this chapter, because it was freaking awesome. I really love this chapter. Oda really putting in some major work right now, and he's been dropping straight fire for a long while now. He's just been spitting that shit. So I'm going to split this up into scenes, because I really feel like that works best for this kind of chapter. Now, the first scene we have is Shikyaru Kingdom. If that's how it's pronounced, great. I'm not sure if that's how it is. I'm just assuming. So, Shikyaru Kingdom. Now, our first scene is an interaction between Mihawk and Perona back at the Shikyaru Kingdom, and we get some key information here. We find out our boy, kinda, maybe not, Gecko Moria is still alive. Somehow, some way, Doflamingo chose not to murder his ass, or simply misjudged the kill. Now, we know Doflamingo, he let Maria off the hook for one reason or another, because he felt he was beneath him or some shit. But I've thought that Maria has been dead for years, and maybe there were hints dropped or something like that he was actually still alive, but I just never saw them, or it was never important enough for me to give a shit. But Maria is alive, and I'm just like, it's not too big a deal. It's like, yeah, it's Gecko Moria, what's he gonna do? He got his ass whooped by Kaido, and then he got his ass whooped by Luffy. He's a bit of a, you know, he's one of those guys. But like I said, this piece of info would have just been kind of cool semantics in the background, but it becomes important later in this chapter. The actual next scene, it becomes important. So Mihawk also tells Perona that now might be a good time for her to leave his island, seeing as strange things are on the table at Reverie. Now, this can only really mean one thing, and that is that Fujitora, possibly alongside Ryokugyu, or anybody else that agreed with him, has proposed to the kings at Reverie, you'd assume, the abolishment of the Oka Shichibukai, which would mean that Perona is now not safe on the island, is now not safe at the Shikyaru Kingdom, living with Dracula Mihawk, as the government would not protect him from the wrath of the Marines, or like if an admiral went against him or something like that, he would be unprotected, and so would she. So he's basically saying it's probably a good time to look around for another place to rent out, because I'm not safe anymore. So just a heads up. We then go to Honeycomb Island, which is our second scene, and it's somewhere else in the New World, just an island, and we see right outside the island, at the port of the island, Maria's ship Thriller barks. This is where things get a little bit spicy, and we see Maria demanding that Teach comes out, suggesting that this is Blackbeard's kind of his island / hideout. I mean, a Yonko doesn't really need a hideout, they're a Yonko, but this is where you start to get a little worried. You know, what the hell is Maria doing here? I mean, like, he's calling out Teach. That's a Yonko level guy, you know, and was the fact that Kaido killed his entire crew and then provided him with ass whoopage of the century not enough to tell him not to mess with a Yonko? You know, I mean, like, there's a subtle hint there. I mean, don't mess with a freaking Yonko. Your entire crew got murdered in front of you, and you couldn't do shit. Now, what do we see or find out here? We see captain of the 4th ship, the corrupt king Avalo Pizarro. I think we've seen him before, but I don't think we know of his abilities or anything like that. We're told Maria came to rescue his missing crewmate, Absalom. Maria voices his concerns here, saying he was afraid Teach and his crew had stolen Absalom's fruit. What with their reputation as fruit hunters and stuff like that. And I thought this really displayed how Maria has changed after getting his ass whooped by Luffy. Like, he's not the type of guy who would... I say that, but he always spoke of how he was annoyed at the fact that he lost his entire crew, and he didn't really ever want to do that again, which is why he had the zombie crew. So has he really changed, or has it always been within him to go and save a crewmate just because he doesn't want to lose his crew again? I think it might have been something that was always within him, but people are saying that he might have changed as a result of Luffy's ass whoopage, or Luffy giving him an ass whoopage. And I don't think too much now, like just talking about it to the camera, I don't believe that he actually has changed. I feel like he still has that kind of insecurity that, like, but it's not even insecurity. He just genuinely wants to have a crew, and he's not going to let his crewmates die. So we then see Maria get nicked by a wind slash. Always going to be Ame no Shiryu, which is Shiryu of the rain, and he makes himself visible to his foe. He makes himself visible to Maria, and it's here that both Maria and the audience let out a slight, like a little bit of pee, because they realize that Absalom is very, very, very dead. He's very dead. And that Shiryu now has the abilities of the clear fruit. I forgot what the Japanese for that is. Now, Maria can't catch a break. I mean, like, I'm pretty sure Absalom was his last remaining living kind of crewmate, and he seems to be very dead right now. So we then see the person who was impersonating Absalom and who kind of duped Maria into believing that Absalom was fine. And it's captain of the 6th ship, Katarina Devon, and she's user of the dog fruit, so the Inu no Mi, model 9-tail fox. Now, this was a big surprise for me personally, because Devon has the abilities of a kitsune, so she can transform, she can alter her form. But the fact that she's a 9-tailed kitsune, a 9-tailed fox, means that she should be supremely strong and, like, really, really wise. I mean, she doesn't give off that vibe, but she should be supremely strong, at least mythologically speaking. And she all but confirms here that, you know, Absalom, she's like, yeah, he dead. Like, we got the body and everything. Now I'm just like, yeah, shit, like, sorry, bro, like, jeez. So we then, it's here that we hear and see Blackbeard. He's speaking through kind of these, he's speaking through these speakers, speaking through a microphone output through the speakers. And he invites Maria to join his crew, but this invite is laced with poison. It's one of those ones where it's join or die. And, you know, it's got to be one or the other, and I feel like Maria doesn't really have a say. I think Blackbeard's going to be like, join or die. Maria's going to be like, I'd rather not do any of those, you know, and he's probably going to die. So Blackbeard drops some major knowledge on us here. On the 4th day of Reverie, the revolutionary commanders clashed with Ryokugyu and Fujitora in a bid to save Kuma, and I'm just like, boy, it got off-screened. So, like, obviously something like this was going to get off-screened. As soon as we diverted from Reverie, we knew a lot of it was going to be off-screen. Now, Blackbeard also speaks of Luffy's arrival in Wano, as well as the other supernovas, as well as Big Mom's pursuit of Luffy. He serves to hype us up for all the shit that's about to go down. I also really love Blackbeard's design with his braided beard, his feathers in his hat, a fluffy overcoat, a doublet with like fluffy sleeves, or frilly sleeves even, and a true golden age look to him as a pirate. And it's straight from, like, Pirates of the Caribbean. I mean, like, you go to, where is it, Tortuga? Was it Boltuga? Well, yeah, something like that, Tortuga, I think it is. Straight from Pirates of the Caribbean. He looks the part. Blackbeard looks awesome. Also, his bounty is like 2.25 billion, rounded up a little, I think. So there's that. Now we go back to Wano Kuni, Act 2. So it starts this chapter, which is quite surprising. I thought we'd have a chapter off and then come back, but nope, only half a chapter off. So with all that having already occurred, we start the second act of Wano, where we have Ashura Doji or Shuten Maru and Inuarashi. They're in the middle of a sword fight, and it's not the fight that takes place as kind of like a friendly competition. It's more of one of disagreement, and it seems that Ashura Doji does not want to join the samurai in their fight against Kaido and the Shogun. And we see a short convo between a conversation between Tama and Chopper, where he mentions that Raizo is going to try to break Luffy out of prison. Now, I fully assume that he'll succeed. I mean, he might encounter some shit along the way, but I think he's going to succeed, and he'll release Kid and the mysterious prisoner along the way. And we then see, coming back to Ashura Doji and Inuarashi, we see why Ashura refuses to aid them. He says he admired and followed Oden but he did not follow. He does not follow the Kozuki clan. He doesn't follow the Kozuki family. He's not a retainer for the entire family. He followed Oden specifically. As a samurai, he will not serve Momonosuke. And Kinemon tells Ashura, he's like, you know what, you've forgotten what I'm like, and that he's gonna get Ashura Doji to join his cause no matter what happens. And Ashura Doji's like, yeah, whatever, you know, I'd be surprised if you did that. But he also drops a really painful line saying his former comrade abandoned Wano for 20 years and that the blank space they left in time cannot be filled. And you know, it wasn't really Kinemon and Momonosuke's and Kiku's. It wasn't. They didn't really have a choice. They were sent forward in time 20 years. By lady, what was her name, Toki, and they basically had no choice. They had to do this, otherwise Wano would have been lost to Kaido and the Shogun forever. This was their one chance, and Ashura Doji, having been left behind, seems to be incredibly bitter about it, and I don't think he's aware that they were sent forward in time. So the chapter ends with us seeing Jack being scolded for the low amount of offerings from Kuri, and for his role now that Doflamingo is out of the picture, and that role is being cemented in his head. He's like, these guys are telling him, you know, Doflamingo's out of the picture, so you really got to pick up the pace. You got to know where to go and trade and stuff like that. You got to pick up the trade aspect that Doflamingo was doing. So, and he's getting scolded for this. And here we're introduced to two major players in the Beast Pirates, King the Wildfire and Queen the Plague. Now these guys look cool, especially King, but it's Jack's submissiveness which is important here. It's the key element to this interaction. These guys are strong. They're really strong, enough for Jack to look at them and say, no. He refers to them older brothers, elder brothers. You know, I'm just like they're really strong, and they're huge. I think they stand like they tower over Jack, and Jack is freaking massive. He's huge. So, and we also find out here that Queen is in charge of torturing Luffy and Kid, or at least that's what's suggested. I think King says something along the lines of, you can't even torture those kids properly, and it's like, what? You're torturing these guys? It's, you know, we knew they were going to get tortured to some extent, seeing the state of Kid, but it seems to be this guy's duty, and like the fact that he's like probably second or third, maybe even fourth in the Beast Pirates, that's a big thing. So just describing what they look like. King is clad all in black with a double-breasted jacket, big ass buttons, a skin-tight headpiece which kind of covers his skull, his face, his neck, with projections that look very similar to Pika, you know, with his helmet. So he looks awesome, and he also has, I didn't notice this like the first or the second time reading it, but when I was just writing up this review, I was like, the dude has two big ass black wings coming out of his back, and I just didn't realize. I mean, like, he looks like Angel from X-Men, almost definitely a Zoan fruit user of some kind, and he just looks badass. I mean, he gives off that vibe of kind of like dominatrix kind of thing, so I'm just like, you know, I'm not too sure, like, I want to go down that way. And then the fact that Queen keeps calling him a perverted torturer of some sort, I'm just like, where's this going, man? I'm not sure what he's going to be doing, like how he fights or anything like that, but that's something for another time. But Queen is a big fat dude. Well, I think he's a dude. I mean, like, I didn't check, but I think he's a dude with a cross-shaped tattoo going like down his forehead and then over his eyes into his cheeks, and then going across his head and behind his skull. And he's got this ponytail. He's got bald head, shaved head, apart from a ponytail which kind of goes down like that, really long, really lengthy, and it's clumped up together like in like there's like a circle, and then there's a band across it, and then another circle and band across it. So it looks like a line of garlic or onions essentially. And I think this is kind of an old Chinese style of like ponytail. I can't be sure. But he's there messing around with cogs, screws, nuts and bolts, and seems to have an arm which is mechanical. His left arm, I think. Either he's building something with his left arm that's mechanical, or his arm is mechanical. So I think his arm might actually be mechanical, which is cool, but I didn't realize we had that technology yet, apart from, you know, Kid, but he has a devil fruit, that's something else. So I don't even recall anybody else having like a mechanical body part. So maybe this is something that will harken to Vegapunk or something like that. I don't know. But that's the review for this chapter. It's been like 14-15 minutes. My longest One Piece review, I think. Yeah, that's pretty much it, I think. Let me know what you guys thought of the chapter. Let me know what you guys thought of the review. Like, comment, subscribe, all of that good stuff. And I'll see you guys in a bit.